Alrighty, welcome back, everybody, as we get into part two of our Takashi Miike breakdown and our interview with our first film director on the podcast, Little Movie Perp. Again, thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching, listening on the podcast, make sure and go and check out the YouTube channel to watch the video format and give us some love over there. But welcome to part two as we dive into the official filmography of Takashi Miike.
Yay.
If you haven't, make sure to listen to part one here as we talk to Perp about his directing career, his inspirations, his experiences, some really great stories, just a phenomenal conversation and stuff. If you're into filmmaking at all, it's going to be a great listen. But with Takashi, as I kind of mentioned before in part one, this for me was like a deep dive into. I'd never heard of this guy. I'd never seen anything this guy had done.
I did not know that. So you just went in like this? Wow.
I went in blind. I've no trailers, no nothing. But that's what I love about this podcast is that I'm going to get to do that with a lot of directors that I don't know or haven't seen their filmographies and stuff. And so I love doing that type of stuff. So we can blame Cole for this.
Or thank him.
We can thank him, absolutely, but we can blame Cole for starting me. Hold on, Cole, did you start me on Audition or did you start me on Visitor Q?
It was Audition, and then
that's what he did.
Then
this is what Cole did. Wow. I'm going to explain, and then I'm going to let Cole talk. Cole tells me, he goes, okay, I'm going to start you with his best film, and then I'm going to start you with what is considered his worst film. So we did Audition, and then
wait. I didn't say that was.
You did say that was considered his. You didn't say you thought.
No.
But you said that was heavily considered.
Yeah. Well, no. I said it's like maybe one. I said it's the one that's
toughest
like
to watch.
The most. The weirdest and everything that you might consider the person. You know.
Okay, so the weirdest, or the hardest. Okay, so
the most transgressive.
We went from Audition to Visitor Q. Those were the two we did back to back. So first of all, let's start with Cole. Cole, where the fuck did you find this guy? Why did you make me do this? And you tell us a little bit about your experience with Takashi. Why do you like him, and what made him be a director that you're like, let's do a podcast on this?
Well, I mean, he's just sorry, he's a legend, but yeah, I love his variety and the number of films he's made. I always love horror stuff or like dark disturbing stuff, and I've kind of gone into disturbing. Looking for more disturbing films to watch like some years ago, but what I've always kind of found though is that honestly a lot of them are kind of trash. Honestly, a lot of films that are also called quote unquote disturbing, they're actually just like torture porn, and I don't even mean that by like they're just a bunch of torture. I mean literally like it's just for people like with a fetish where then half of the film is that and then the other half is just like weird sex. That seems to be a lot of those type of films, and they're usually low budget and poorly made. So yeah, when I found Takashi Miike's films, like damn, yeah, I really love them, and just amazing stories. And then there's other ones that are just completely fucked, but in the best way possible. Like especially Visitor Q, which is kind of why I like it so much. Which I'll explain later. But yeah, I started binging a lot of his films, and I don't know if he's ever made I might have to. I don't know. He might have for me. Like that we'll see. I don't know if he's really made a film that's like a 10 out of 10 for me, but he's made many great films. Yeah. He is very consistent to me, but even his lesser films. But yeah,
based.
I mean,
I think I have three 10 out of 10s from him.
310. Whoa.
For me. I love this guy. I love this guy. I love him. I can't wait to get started too.
What's gonna be cool is you guys are gonna get to Little Movie Perp and Cole will dive into kind of the deeper cuts because unfortunately I didn't have time to watch this entire guy's filmography. But I got
I
a
don't think
lot of
anyone can.
yeah.
I think it's very. I don't think you can. Like some. I think. I was trying to look for his first one. Eye Catch Junction. I couldn't find it. It was like, okay, all right.
I
It does not
yeah.
exist.
I mean, yeah, like we started with his first mainstream one which was Audition.
He had
And
he had like 40 films before Audition. That's what's crazy. It's like holy shit.
yeah, exactly.
Before he
He
became big or whatever in the art house festival scene.
exactly. He had this kind of whole he's done a lot of shorts, he's done a lot of like he's and like Cole said, he's been all over the place. But let's start with Audition. That's where we'll start. We'll start with Audition. This being my introduction to his film, I thought it was actually very well made, and this is probably one of the ones, yeah, that it is 9 out of 10 for me and stuff. I absolutely love the ending. I love the kind of dream state reality, what's real, what's not type thing. Um, but I also love the story of again this kind of producer, kind of taking advantage of this relationship and doing all this type of stuff and a lot of
He
metaphorical type
wasn't a
stuff.
dick about it either.
Right, right.
That's what made it
Um,
cool. It was like he felt bad too. He's like, I
he
feel like
did.
I'm taking advantage of him. He's like, you really want to do it? And his friend's like, it's fine.
Right, yeah, you're a producer. You got the power.
What makes it, I think that's what gives it the special touch. The little
Yeah,
special touch of
yeah,
like,
like
oh,
it's
is
not
this the
like as
romance?
cliche. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a lot of films in this position, would like just make his relationship with his son be pretty bad and other things. But this
Yeah.
film doesn't do that. It doesn't fall into those cliches, which is what I like.
It doesn't create like this false sense of conflict, like at all. Like, which I think lesser films or directors would have done all these little subplots are there to make you like not think of what it could be.
Right.
This movie just flows with this character. It kind of has this dreamy atmosphere, right? I absolutely adore. This is the first 10 out of 10 for me, by the way. I love this movie was amazing. The slow burn of it, the changing of one of the things I love about him is that he gives a variety in tone, right? So it's like he's giving you this almost drama, romance, just absolutely dripping in atmosphere. Kind of reminded me a little bit of like Wong Kar-wai shit from over in Hong Kong, but
Yeah.
but still like there's something off, right? And then he gives you these little hints and stuff, and then man, when it goes nuts in those last 20 minutes, just the changing of editing styles, the surrealism suddenly coming in, like not introducing any of this in the beginning, right? Maybe some flashbacks here or there of like the mom in the hospital, but other than that, like he sets all this up and somehow it just works where anyone else would have said this movie's a mess. This is a mess. Like, what are you doing? I don't understand. Blah blah blah. You changed your style. The editing's like fast paced. All of a sudden, somehow for him, he just makes it work. And I think it's just, I don't know. There's something about his slow burn that's very interesting. Sometimes it doesn't always work. That's why I made that joke earlier that I find some of his stuff boring sometimes.
Yeah.
Those are in the lesser cuts later on. We'll talk about those.
No, absolutely. I do agree with you in that. Like, he does a lot of slow burn stuff. There's a lot of dialogue, a lot of character moments and these kind of certain things that happen that
Yeah. He keeps the
well
camera
and
still
he
too.
does
He keeps
he
it
kind
still
of
and static. The camera the
yes
whole
and
time.
he
Yeah.
he kind of reminds me just a little bit of like some Terrence Malick storytelling where it's a little
Sure.
bit incoherent but
Yeah.
coherent enough to make the story. You have like random scenes here and there, random shots from the past or from the future or whatever. Audition's a good example of that because like by that ending, it's you're very much questioning your reality. What is is she actually fucking stabbing me and doing all this shit to poking him to death and fucking doing all this
It was
stuff
it was iconic, like everything about it, like the visuals, like even her look, the leather apron
right
with the black leather apron with the gloves.
yeah
It's like that is a fucking iconic horror uniform. That's
true
up there with like the Jason jumpsuit or whatever. Like to me, like the and ski mask, like that is a horror icon. Like,
Yeah.
and you know, I love reading up about it because apparently, like in the festivals, some people got offended. Some people were truly could not take that ending, and they would walk out. And Mike even said he got spit on by some lady at one point.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Oh my
people,
gosh.
that movie made that he definitely made his mark in the global scene
Yeah.
with that one. Yeah.
Cole, your thoughts on Audition and your thoughts on my reaction to
Yeah,
Audition.
well, your reaction was hilarious, but you got like you're so disturbed by it. I'm just like, if you're disturbed by that, then GG. Should we just stop this now?
I wasn't that disturbed. I was just like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like, I've never,
yeah,
like,
yeah. It's incredible. Yeah, just everything, the acting, just how it's made, the camera work, the scene transitions, and just the creepy atmosphere and tone and cinematography. It's all perfect to me. And again, it doesn't like do any tropes or cliches other films in these positions have done. It's very unique, and yeah, it's just an incredible story. I don't even really find it like as like disturbing or anything. It's just like incredible though. Yeah, I just love it. God, and yeah,
Yeah.
that so
He did.
Carol so creepy. God, we did like. Oh yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I was interrupting. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying we did like a. I remember we did a. If you remember, Austin, we did like a horror tournament of like horror icons before on someone's channel, and yeah, I believe she.
dude,
I
that
was.
was years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was like one of the only people who voted for her in a round because I was like the only one who saw
That was
Audition.
when I first met you. One of the first times I met you or was with you on a stream. Yeah. Jeez,
Yeah,
taking it back.
I remember I showed this to a group of friends. I was like, man, when I got high off a movie, like there were some movies, man, that I would not shut up about. And my friend, all right, we'll do a watch party, okay? And then I showed him a Audition, and when that fucking the leg cutting shit happened, oh my god, some of the dudes were like, turn it off, turn it off. They went like some of my friends went nuts, and then there was this one girl's girlfriend of my friend. She was so into that shit because when he said turn it off, one of my friends said turn it off. She goes, no, this is amazing. Like she got so into it, like where it's like some people see it, like, you know, as Cole was saying, some people do see gore and like, oh, this is disgusting. And
Right.
there's some people's like, this is just craftsmanship, like this is beautiful
Well,
filmmaking.
yeah, a
Like the
lot of it
music, the
is
flashback, like the storytelling going on in the flashbacks of how she was abused, and just
right.
like the symbol, like how he was working. Sometimes the actor guy was in the flashback. Sometimes it's a little girl petting the dude in the bag. Like it was all these crazy ideas, and they were all giving you story. They were all giving you like something like, oh man, does that mean this happened? Does that mean this happened? Like they were giving you shit to think about. It was just phenomenal filmmaking from all, like this was the first, like I became a huge Miike fan, and I was so blessed to find out that man makes like 6 movies a year, man. 6 movies a year. So we're gonna get like when after this movie was done, I was like, I'm gonna see everything this guy has made, everything I could get my hands on. I've tried to hold true to that. He kind of fell off a little bit, or I found other filmmakers. But yeah,
Yeah, this movie was fucking.
something else.
It was good. It was really good. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
But you know, I'll be honest. I did like it. It was kind of weird because this was like the introduction to him, right? Because I'll be like, it's kind of soft. A lot of stuff doesn't happen until the end. Those last like 30, 40 minutes where there's that big twist and turn and stuff. As I got into the other movies, I kind of liked it that they were more crazier and stuff. And
that's like the reputation. Like that's where his reputation was there, right? With the other ones, where it's like, oh, that's the craziest shit I heard about. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I think Audition, and they even put this a quote, I think, in like the Blu-ray or DVD that I got. It was like it's more like a Psycho. It felt like if you put into context, seeing that movie in a festival, not knowing anything about it, not knowing who Mickey is, and it's just like it must be like the scene in Psycho where it's like this shit just goes nuts, where it's like it completely tore down everything that happened before it. It was like shocking. Like people were literally offended, just like Psycho. I always thought that was a pretty interesting comparison. If you put it into context, it's like, yeah, it's not hardcore, but it's like, yeah, now it's like, yeah, I don't think Psycho's hardcore now compared to other movies.
Right. Oh, dude. No.
But when you put it into context, it's like, oh, I could see in its time in history, especially in the indie circuit, in the horror.
Yeah.
They're like, this is one of the ones that helped America pay attention to the J horror boom. You know, it wasn't just The Ring. It was like this one too. In many ways, was like everyone was like, holy shit. Some people got it, some people didn't.
Yeah. So with that, the follow up to that one was
Or you're not gonna write it?
Yes, I forgot. Thank you, Cole. This is why you're here. So we go around. What is your overall rating of Audition? I would say 9 out of 10. It was a really, really good film.
I give him 9.5.
Yeah.
5 stars, 10 out of 10.
But hell yeah.
I do the letterbox if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'll give a rating too, a number rating.
Cole, I've been doing the letterbox rating, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm sticking to. Yeah. So for me, that would be a 4 out of 10. Or 5, not 4 out of 10. Jesus Christ, 4 out of 5. For the letterbox.
That's RJ's Acolyte rating. I hate him for that. I always want to 4 out of 10.
Don't you mean 4.5 out of 5 if it's a 9? Jesus.
Okay, 4.5 out of 5. Yeah. But with that, going to this next film, which this is the film which really got me like, okay, yeah, this guy's
say Hot and Bothered. This is the one.
Visitor Q.
This is the one that got me hot and bothered. That opening scene.
This film, that that opening scene. That we go from that opening scene to titty squirting to necrophilia to dismemberment to
you forgot the incest part in the beginning.
Incest. This film had it all. This film
even had fireworks.
It was just such a like shock film for me. You thought my reaction was good for Audition, Cole. What was my reaction for this movie?
I recorded it. I should send it.
Oh my god!
We will
set that up, man.
We will post it on the channel as a special bonus feature.
Oh god! Yeah, I right when the milk part was coming up, I was like, okay, I gotta record this.
Right.
And later on in God's view, he's like, this man
loves his
milk. What? Yep. God. Yeah, this was
the milk. Jesus Christ, the milk.
This was glorious. I'm sorry, I love this film.
You didn't...
So like, it isn't one of his strongest, but I just like love it for personal reasons. Like, look, again, I really love just like trying to find like a bunch of like the most disturbing films out there and the darkest films. And again, like for me, majority of them are just like kind of bad. I already explained, like what the majority of them kind of are, or they're just like not really disturbing, or they mostly go for like the gore factor. And I'm usually not fazed by gore too much because I've kind of seen it all. But something like this, this was just the most like screwed up film ever, and also just a dark comedy, and it is perfect in the way that it like looks like real and authentic with the found footage style of it all, and just all the things in it. It just has this like absolutely like ridiculous and creepy like atmosphere and everything. I love it for that reason. It's like one of a kind, and everybody should see this.
Yes, I agree. Everybody should see this and expand your mind on genre of filmmaking.
Little Movie Perk, warning for that.
Yeah, Little Movie Perk, your thoughts on Visitor Q.
Visitor Q, I think, is It's not my cup of tea, and it's not like, but I think it's very well made. Like I think it's well made, and I think it's good. I saw it once a long time ago, and because it's not my thing, I still like respected it. And I understand what it was trying to do, and I think it's actually an important movie for Mike in many ways. Um, I remember when I saw it, it helped me like I guess get a general take on Mike, because Mike is known for doing all different types of films, but and I gotta admit I haven't seen all of them. I haven't even seen some of his like uh, better known ones, like his One Miss Call movies. I haven't seen a single one of those. Um, or I don't remember I have or not. Yeah, either way I don't remember. So it's like I didn't see it. But what I noticed with Visitor Q's when I first started seeing it, I don't know what number it was in his fucking in his uh in his resume. What number I forget, because I saw a bunch of Mika. I was just getting everything and seeing it. But Visitor Q, I remember thinking it's like, okay, I understand what Mike is interested in his movies. A lot of the times, in terms of themes, it's about like dudes, families, like almost losing either their self, or losing like their their connection to either Japan, family, or themselves. And it was like I was
Yeah.
starting to see a lot of connection uh, with because I had to have seen what was it called, Lost City, the one of the with the Brazilian dude, City of Lost Souls. I must have seen that before that, because before that I was like thinking, I was like, oh, he does a lot of movies with outsiders and stuff. I'm glad that he's like he does very he does a lot of movies. He's a very interesting guy to nail down. So I'm kind of struggling here, but I noticed that he's making a lot of films about like outsiders or people outside of the actual what is deemed, you know, Japanese society. You know, not that I would know anything about that, but it seems like within Japan, he's interested in outsiders within Japan. You know, and I think within that, it was with uh, Visitor Q that I was like, oh, he's interested not just like outsiders in Japan. It's just like outsiders in general. It could be within family. It could be a dude that's so disconnected with his family that it was like he wants to understand it, but not really. So he's like doing a video, because I remember in Visitor Q that was like the plot line. Like the dad, he's doing like he's a news guy, and he just wants to do a documentary on the youth, but then he's just following his kids and like with the camera, you know, and when they're doing fucked up shit. And I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. It's like, oh, it's this dad that he can't connect with his kids, and he's trying to like make that his job, almost like core. Like, how do you deal with the chaos of family? It's like if you could somehow intertwine your job with family, it's like you could see what this guy's like thinking with all this bullshit. And it's like
Right.
I find that so fascinating. And it's like it kind of stuck with like that within itself stuck with me of like this guy's so fucking disconnected that he has to do this shit with the fucking his job and his family. And I absolutely love that. And Visitor Cues, when I started understanding Mike's themes in what I've seen in his movies and a lot of his movies. So that's why I think Visitor Q is very important, at least for me, even though I'll never see it again.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I'll be like I said, something stood out to me about this where I think I went into it with this expectation because of what Cole had said, in that like, it's weirder, it's wilder, and all this other stuff. But I kind of liked it. I was kind of into it. Like
Yeah,
like, um,
I think there's this everything connects. It's not just like shock for shock value. Again, I feel like he has themes going in there. I feel like he's trying to tell a story, and these characters are thought out, even though they're fucked up. It's like this is very well thought out, and all this gross shit is warranted, almost, you know. And it's weird because it's like John Waters did stuff like this before, but it's like Mike has this different type of touch to it. I don't understand that aspect. I can't put into words of like what
yeah,
makes this so unique.
yeah, I agree. Um, Going into Takashi's next film. Uh oh, where did I put?
You didn't see Feudo last generation or New Generation, I think.
I did not.
The school
No.
one. That one's fucking. I think that's like the start of Mike, like itchy Mike. It's
I
like
know I did not
it's
see
like
that.
this fucking kid.
I
who-
did see Iche the Killer, which is our next
Hell yeah,
film.
hell yeah, itchy's the shit. Did you see Happiness of the Katakuris?
I did not
Damn
see
it.
that one.
That's
Either.
my other 5-star one.
Uh,
Uh,
no, we'll still talk about we'll talk about any.
Yeah,
but
let's do the ones that he didn't do. The ones he did first, and then I'll tell you which
Yeah.
other ones you need to see because they're great. He has some bangers out there.
but yeah, going on to Iche the Killer. Now,
Did you give your rating?
see, this is I
Yeah, I'll give this a 8 out of 10, around that, or 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, it's great. Even if it wasn't one of his strongest, I love it.
I'll
this
do.
one, yeah.
Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, 3.5. 7 out of 10.
Visitor Q. I'll give a 4 out of 5 letterbox rating. Again, there was just something about this that I enjoyed, and that just I don't know. It's like taking audition to the next level. You know, it's like, okay, this is all out. This is some wild. Again, I love that word that you free filmmaking. You know, like but with that going into Iche the Killer. Iche the Killer. I fucking loved Iche the Killer because this movie, and I talked a little bit about with Cole, you know, was like this was everything combined: the necrophilia, the titty milk, the craziness of audition and torture, and all that. Like this was awesome. The way he's just filming shit throughout, and like, yeah, I actually really really loved EJ the Killer. So I don't know what that says about me, but Cole, yeah, what did you think of EJ? Your thoughts on
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it is a blast from start to finish. This is probably, I mean, his most iconic film, and maybe, besides Audition, but yeah, for a reason. I just love it. All the action, gore, and there's just so many great messages, and with the characters too, and just so many memorable moments, and just filmmaking wise, yeah, it is just perfection. Yeah, there were people who were a little disappointed by the ending, actually, because they go even darker with it. Apparently, at the end, like I did read, the ending of the manga and what they did there. So I kind of understand that, but I still like it a lot and what they're doing there with the characters. But yeah, it's just incredible. That easily, in my opinion, his best Yakuza film. Yeah, just love it.
I agree. A little movie perk. Iche the Killer.
Itchy the Killer is a freaking wonderment of a movie. Okay, I'm with you guys. I absolutely love it. One of the key things for me of what makes that movie special and why it's so goddamn unique. First of all, just the take in itself of this superhero guy that's just an absolute crybaby, and just building up the hype from the perspective of, I guess, the villain, right? Because that's the guy in the cover. It's that Kari guy. I don't know how to pronounce the names. I'm terrible with names. But the dude, he's awesome. He was in Shogun now. The main bad guy of Itchy the Killer. Itchy is actually the dude with the one in the back. That's like the hero. That's supposed to be the main guy, but we're not through his perspective. Not quite. Only when he's being used as a tool or something. With this other guy, I found that so refreshing because it's like building up hype for this freaking crybaby. And at the end of the day, like it's kind of like a huge disappointment for our main protagonist, And so at the end of the day, the movie's about disappointment. It's about being disappointed. I've never seen a film do that so satisfactory. Think about this: when like the main bad guy and the good guy meet, and the bad guy is in absolute shock and disappointment. He was hyping himself up for a huge showdown, like it was a fucking comic book movie, and then he just sees this blubbering idiot just crying, and he's in absolute shock. He's so in shock he has to fucking blurt out the crying by sticking knives in his ears. Like, what is that? Like, what is that? And why does that work so well? Because any other movie, we would be like, what the fuck was the writer thinking? What kind of satisfactory ending is that for what this is? Like, this is a Yakuza film, an action scene or something. Like, none of that. It's a movie about disappointment. I've never, like, other than The Weather Guy, I guess, that Gore Verbinski, Nick Cage movie, I've never seen a movie tackle that so fucking well. So fucking well. It's a goddamn miracle that people love this movie, that he did. Like, this is what makes Mike special, is he's able to handle themes no one else is, and he does it in this such a like almost Quentin Tarantino with this one. It's almost like all these fucking weirdo characters coming together to do something. Find the boss, right? And then it turns into Find Itchy. Yeah, it's just what a movie, incredible movie. I still, within that. Oh, well, we'll get to the ratings later. Like, I wrestle with the rating because I don't know if it's perfect. I don't know. Yeah, I'll let you guys talk before. Convince me on the rating.
Yeah. Well, no, listen. I did. I love this movie. This felt like this, and the next one that we're going to talk about felt like the culmination of like everything this guy had done, and it just like it made me really, really happy. I absolutely love this guy's way of storytelling. And what's funny is we're starting with, at least I did. I started with the much wilder
Audition. Well, you
films and
started
stuff.
with technically you started with what everyone started, like in a global sense. Like,
Yeah, I
came
did
into
start
the
with
scene
that,
with Audition.
but I would say like then I went to Iche, and then I went to
Oh
Visitor
yeah.
Q, and then I did what's
Yeah,
the
you
next one we're
started
going to talk
super
about
strong, bro.
is
You started too
Gozu.
strong.
I went to Gozu next. So like that was another one that was like, whoa,
You went too strong.
Um,
You got burnt in the end, didn't you?
no, I didn't. No,
Okay.
I was actually kind of fascinated because I saw these extreme things and basically him unhinged, right? And then as I got deeper into his filmography and stuff, I was able to really see, oh my God, this guy is immensely talented in the way that he deals with switching genres, being able to tell very different stories and very different, and again, we'll talk about those films in a little bit, but Iche, look, I fucking loved Iche. It's a 5 out of 5 for me on Letterboxd. I fucking love Iche. Yeah, your rating?
Cole or me?
Little movie perp.
I wrestle with it. I don't know if it's a 9 or a 10.
Wrestle.
Because okay, I do have a critique. I'm still unsure of what the final scene is, of what exactly is going on there. What did it mean of the dude hanging himself in the tree, and then the kid looks at the camera? I know it's probably Mike fucking with us. He does that a lot for the final shot, but that one specifically, always like, I don't know what you were doing with that, dude. I really wish I could have something to work with in terms of what your intent. I'm big on intent, you know.
Listen, the intent was this dude is just fucking,
he's just done. He's just done fucking around. He's like, I'm gonna hang myself
done.
now.
Yeah, he's fucking done. He's doing it all, man.
Maybe. What's that saying? I guess I don't know. Yeah, you're probably right. I do enjoy the shit out of this movie. I'm gonna give it a 9, man. I'm gonna give it. You're not gonna convince me. 9.5, fine. 9.5 for Cole.
Cole, what did you think of Iche the Killer?
Yeah, I mean, it's between like a 9.5 or 10 out of 10 for me, around that range. But yeah, so yeah, the ending, I think, yeah, it was just like about, how it was all kind of like imagined in the one dude's head, the dude, and other people's head, like the Gigi's character, how, and just like imagining the whole Takeshi murder and Ichi attack and everything, and how they all kind of did, how they were just like, yeah, disappointed by the whole thing and leading up to it, and then and then that shot at the end being, it was just him hanging himself years later out of like disappointment. That was kind of like the meaning of it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Um, moving on from Iche.
Yeah, again, if you haven't read like the manga, the end in there is
Oh,
a
that's
lot
right.
darker.
Oh yeah, it's
Yes,
a manga.
and
Damn
that's
it.
what I love about Takashi too. He does a lot of stuff based off manga or fucking
Yeah.
games or fucking
You know, he's like big right now from a kids show. He's doing like a kids show right now.
what?
A little kids show, yeah. That's his biggest moneymaker right now. It's like he has his own thing going on over there. That's why we haven't, like, every once in a while he comes up with a movie, but he's been coasting off this kids show.
Jeez. So that's so wild thinking of him doing a kid show with all the shit that I've
Well,
seen.
he's
I
done
can't
well.
even imagine
One
that.
of the he did in 2000. I think it was in his 2001 run when he did Visitor Q, Itchy the Killer. I think that same year he did Happiness of the Katakuris, which is
Yep.
his musical, which is my other 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. Like, that movie is it's like a legitimate, good-hearted musical. It has death and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's like treated like a family film. It is
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
magical.
it is incredible as well. I mean, if you want to just like
Magical.
talk about now, like yeah, this. I mean, the happiness of Katakoris kind of reminds me of like almost a Sion Sono film at points, and
Yeah.
just so wacky. It just that whole first 5 minutes, God, with the stop motion and everything, and
Yeah. It's
just
free. Yeah.
surprised to see this as a musical, but yeah, it just does an incredible job. It is hilarious and yeah, well shot. I
And he
really
has
loved
family themes too, similar to Visitor Q. Like, it has a very good theme of like this family sticking together and how they're like, again, outsiders, because they're literally the plot is they're trying to build a hotel outside of like regular Japan and outside this beaten path where hopefully a highway is built. So again, it's dealing with a very awesome staple of Miike's themes, which is he likes his characters to be outsiders one way or another. And he did that with Happiness of Katakuris beautifully.
Yeah, for sure. I'd probably give that film like an 8.5 or a 9.
Based.
Yeah, I mean, what about you?
It's perfect. 10 out of 10. That's his
Oh
other
yeah,
10 out
right.
of 10
Yeah.
for me. I love it.
Okay. But yeah, so I'm guessing the next film you want to do, Austin, is Gazu.
Gazu.
Hell yeah.
Gazu. Just when
Nice.
I thought fucking Iche couldn't get crazy, you couldn't get crazier than Iche. I got
Yeah.
Gazu.
It's batshit insane and random. Like again, it's like
Yes. Now this is the one where I would say yes, there are some boring parts and some kind of like like what
Slows down a little bit, yeah.
But also, yeah, this is the culmination.
He knows how to open a movie though.
This man, this felt like the culmination of everything I'd seen. There was so much. There was so much necrophilia. He even had the guy getting his dick stuck in the.
Yeah. That means the other guy was inside there grabbing it, right? That's why it wouldn't
in his
come out.
brother, right? Yeah, he was.
The guy was grabbing it. That's why it was stuck.
Him. Oh my god! Yeah, this shit went balls to the wall. Said, "I give no fucks. Let's get the craziest shit we can put on here," and he did it, and he fucking did it.
Yeah,
it's a brilliant setup too. I love the idea of this Yakuza guy, like this younger Yakuza guy needs to take out like the guy on top of him because he's just too nuts. He's going way too crazy. That opening scene with the Yakuza attack dog, and that dude just takes that dog and swings it around. That's probably, in my opinion, the funniest Takashi Miike scene ever, where it's like, that's his sense of humor. That to me is the culmination of his sense of humor. If anyone says like, what type of movie does Takashi Miike make, I'll show him that the attack dog scene, because not only is like what's happening is ridiculous, the whole time he doesn't break the tone of this creepy drone throughout the conversation, where it's like, it's creepy but it's funny. So it's like this juxtaposition between these tones works so well, and Miike does that so fucking good. Of like, it's so funny it's creepy, or it's so creepy it's funny. It's like one or the other. He's playing with both beautifully. So it's like he has layers that he just, like, the fact that this dude also, like, like he how does he make all these movies at once? Like he
Right.
must have like
Yeah.
he doesn't
Well-
do any rewrites or anything. Like he gets these scripts and he just fucking does it, and they come out like this. How? It's mind-boggling that he gets 6 movies a year. Like this is fucking crazy. This man, stop him.
Yeah, this one definitely felt like, at least of the ones that I had seen up until this point, like the most insane, just the most fucking like how did you make this? Like
Yeah.
but also in the best type of way, because again, it's just like it's so random, and it is well done, like in the way that like the effects are having, the emotions, like a lot of things, like there's, it's not like I can even call this like B filmmaking or anything. Like this is, it's very weird. It's just insane. It's just a fucking insane movie. Cole, your thoughts on Gozu?
Yeah, as you said, insane, random, just batshit, and yeah, I love it for that reason. Of course, this is like Akira Kurosawa's dreams, but on acid. This film, I mean, it was quite literally his version of a shit post film, as I said, and a troll, similar to like Tom Green, as it was just an entire film about things him and others joked about in private, but one that's done super well. Like it just has so much eerie, just character. Yeah, so I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, sorry. It has so many eerie character and just
Miike does that to people.
Yeah, and memorable scenes to it, and so much creativity. It's insane and hilarious. I just have my jaw dropped at so many moments. The ending is gold. Seeing Austin's reaction to this was hilarious. He was just screaming, "This motherfucker in his milk." Oh,
Dude, that and the dick getting stuck and all that type of stuff, because that was the second time I'd seen that.
Yeah, it's like, I know he's gonna sit on it.
My favorite one was it from Iche or from Visitor, where I think it was the dead body. He's like, it's getting tighter, and then he has to get his fucking wife to help him, and fucking like
that's after he discovers it's full of shit.
Right.
Yeah,
you're forgetting a key important plot point, Austin.
Yeah, and also I just love how like everything in this film, from like even the poster, is just a very similar style and homage to like other shit post comedy stuff in Japan throughout the years, especially in like weird ass like bootleg Japanese like shoot 'em up games that are like considered some of the weirdest and worst of all time. Like this accomplished its goal for me, and I thought it was excellent. And again, I mentioned this to Austin. I read that it said, "From the twisted mind of Takashi Miike." All right, and they're goddamn right. Screw these fucking directors like Matthew Vaughn trying to use that. All right, you're not Takashi Miike. All right, God.
Yeah, I've seen Twisted, motherfucker. This ain't it.
Yeah, you're not allowed to, right? Also, I read somewhere the American wife of the store owner in this one scene didn't know like any Japanese at all, so they had to use cue cards over her head for her to read, and she still completely failed at it and was like speaking in broken Japanese and sounded weird, but they kept it in because they thought it added to the eerie comedic effect and weirdness of it. Yes, and just the start of this film, he literally says, "This is all a joke. Don't take any of it seriously." It's like that. Literally, it's just the beginning of the film. It's telling that to the audience, basically.
Yeah. This movie, look, Gozu was just like, even though it was incoherent at times and certain just like what the fuck moments, I still hella enjoyed it. It did slow down at certain parts, but I mean, for me, this is a letterbox, a solid 4 out of 5.
Yeah, 8 out of 10.
I quite enjoyed this. A little movie perp.
I'm so sorry, fellas. This is the one Miike movie so far. I cannot see you eye to eye. I find this one very, very slow. I think the beginning and then, of course, the ending scenes that we described are great. Yes. I think it meanders a little too much with such a brilliant setup. I didn't connect with this one outside of those brilliant scenes. I think, oh man, it's a I give it like a 2-star out of
Whoa.
5. That's like a 4 or 5, right? That's
Right,
not
right.
good, right? Probably a 4.
He said that's not
I
good.
just no, I don't want to. I don't like shitting on like he's like who am I, right? Who the fuck? I just said I'm a director. I did a couple of fucking short. This man's a goddamn genius. Who the hell am I to say? You know? And so I feel a little icky, but I gotta be honest. I just didn't like. That's what makes him good.
Yeah.
In order to cherish the itchies and the auditions out there, I gotta be honest about. I gotta be honest about the Gozus. You know?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
From my
Be
perspective,
honest
I'm
about
glad
the
you guys
Gozus.
like it, and I'm in the minority with this one. I know Eli Roth and Guillermo del Toro love this movie too.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that makes sense that Guillermo would like this.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
um,
So I guess neither of you have seen One Missed Call, right? So
I have
No, I have not.
not.
yeah. So
No.
I
I've
guess
always heard it was his most like just doing a basic J horror thing, and I was like
yeah,
kind of over it by then.
it was. So I guess I did watch it and write some stuff down for it. So I guess I'll get it out of the way. But yeah, this wasn't his best film by any means. Out of his like most popular ones that I think are at least good, this is one of his weakest to me. But it's still good to me, even if it is more basic. Especially good once you compare it to the English remake, though, which was like one of the worst
Oh,
films ever made. Similar to the Chucky remake, for me, it really helps you appreciate the positives about this more, such as how all the characters don't act like total idiots and are like logical or reasonable about things and have more just self-awareness better than the ones in the English remakes. It's a pretty interesting story still. It has lots of potential, and there were many messages about it and about Japanese culture and even like internet culture in Japan around that time, as it was when many of these type of like creepy pasta things and forum stuff were like very popular and first going around, and before ones in America and 4chan and other sites took off. It was where like the original Jeff the Killer and the photos of it was like likely invented and began in the same sort of year. So it had like a lot of kind of like inspiration from that, I'm pretty sure. Sort of like how Suicide Club was too, by Sion Sono. And I also had messages that I'm sure to do with the suicide rate in Japan, as did Sion Sono's Suicide Club. There are still things, though,
love
that,
those. Love
yeah,
those.
yeah, there are still things though that don't fully work. They're a bit flawed or don't come together well with the premise and setup of this film and its rules just being a little bit broken. It also isn't like the most original thing he's done at all, but it works enough for me. I would probably give this like 6 out of 10, 3 stars out of 5.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Did like did they have any inkling of like a Mike moment of like like something was a little off? Not a hint of that. He played it 100% straight.
There are things where it's a little off, like it did have some Mike in it, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but it really was just like the best way to describe it, where it was kind of like his version of Suicide Club almost.
Mm.
But yeah.
Okay. I love that movie, so I might check it out. Also, my girlfriend loves the One Missed Call series, so I might check. There are fans out there. I think people appreciated it afterwards a little more, where they were like, you know what, we were a little too hard on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it also definitely was inspired by Final Destination, of course, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. I could do a quick recommendation of one you probably haven't. Did you any of you see Bird People of China?
I have not. No.
I saw it years ago. I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm not like fresh on it.
His 98 movie is fucking beautiful. It's like his most like ethereal. When you mentioned Terrence Malick before,
Sure.
Austin, like that's his Terrence Malick movie. It's
Okay.
about like a reporter and a Yakuza guy are trying to find like this mine or some shit like out deep in the forest in China, and they run into this village of these people that are trying to fly because they have this legend of this dude that flies. So they build these awesome, beautiful wooden wings trying to fly, and it's like these this Yakuza dude and this reporter falling in love with this tribe, like staying there and learning it. It's a beautiful movie. Nothing weird or hardcore. It's like one of his most like straightforward, just like almost like a Disney movie. And it's like that it's like you're gonna be shocked with like that came from fucking like same thing with Happiness of the Katakoris, where you're just like, whoa, that came from the Itchy the Killer guy.
Right.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and that's the thing we're gonna get right now. We're about to transition to like now. So I started with these films and then went into these next few, and it was like whoa,
it was a
you
different
know?
phase. Yeah. He goes through these like you're gonna watch this movie. We're like, whoa, like he has these
Yeah.
phases. Yeah. Go ahead.
And so with that moving into 13 Assassins,
Oh my God, hell yeah.
which is like again fucking whoa, like very serious, very not silly, not taking on this historical um moment in time frame and all this type of stuff, and done just absolutely brilliantly.
It still has his personality. It has his little weirdo moments. It has his little weirdo. Have you seen the director's cut where the fucking that
No,
dude is like,
did we
dude, the
watch the
director,
director's cut?
dude,
Cool.
the director's cut is insane. The beggar they find in the forest, the guy that was tied up or whatever, the crazy dude.
Uh,
You know what he does? They go to a whorehouse, right?
oh
And
my
he
God.
ends up he hasn't had sex in forever. He ends up having sex with all the prostitutes. This isn't the director's cut. He has sex with all the prostitutes, and he's still horny. And then the dude that owns the whorehouse, it's a dude, right? And he's like, "Oh man, sorry, you did all my prostitutes, man. I can't. There's no more." And he's like, "Then you'll do." And he starts having sex with the dude. Like it's insane. Like it goes way crazier. Like it goes way deeper. Like all the characters, like that guy's way crazier. All the characters go way deeper. Like it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But even then, still with the weird moment, very tamed, very kind of straightforward story and stuff. Well done with the action, well paced.
Mm.
Brilliant
Character, brilliant, small nuanced character
yes,
stuff going on throughout the shit.
yes,
I love the gambler. I love the how the motivations of each of why they joined, and then we're talking spoilers, of course, but in the end, it
yeah,
was the fucking guy that was like bet on it. It wasn't the
right.
dude that did it for honor. It wasn't all. It was like the bet dude, the gambler, and that must fuck with him so hard. Like everything about this is so cool. It's so cool when to think about it. Like, what is that dude thinking? And then
Right.
and then the Mike moment happened where the fucking beggar that you saw die shows up as a ghost. And he's like, "Yo, man, that was crazy," and then leaves. It was like Mike still has his personality in there. He always ends it weird. I love that. I love that about him.
Yeah, I agree. He does it, but at the same time, again, just like this was, even though I enjoyed this, I just thought like this is great filmmaking. This is like just phenomenal.
The action wasn't stylized. Like, have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like, his action isn't like slow motion. See the blood, but it's not like not. I'm not knocking it. I love Zack Snyder. It's just action, but it's not that. It's definitely not that, right? He does like it way more grounded, way more suspense building. But then it also allows for absolute badassery, like the fucking that one samurai with his pupil. How they set up all those swords in the ground, and he's like, "Don't let anyone pass me," or like, "Take down anyone that passes me." It's like, man, they're doing it realistic. They're doing tactical, strategic things, but at the same time, it's and not stylized. But you have moments of badassery that you would find in a Zack Snyder shit, but still grounded. But it's still grounded. It's
Absolutely.
just impeccable filmmaking, like you said. Yeah.
I agree. Cole, your thoughts on 13 Assassins?
Oh yeah, excellent. As you said, another one of his more lesser weird ones, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's just incredible. This was a remake of an older film of the same name, and I do think this actually is better than the original. I have seen both, but yeah, it's just an incredible action and set pieces and everything. Yeah, just great character building and all these little details put throughout and subtle camera work aspects to it, just like that I love. Yeah, it's just beautifully done, as you guys said there. The editing just very smooth and effortless as well. So many points, I don't really even notice it at a lot of points, and God has even like some funny moments and some character deaths. I'm just like, Jesus, God, like that one guy just doing his monologue and then just the sword being thrown into him.
Right. Oh my god.
Man,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that bad guy, the bad guy was so bad. Like you hated that dude was fucked
Yeah.
up, man.
Oh
That was
god.
some Game of Thrones like villainy going on in like 90 minutes that they were trying to put. It was more. It was like 2 hours, but like, man, did they set up that bad guy? You want to see that guy fucking fall so hard, man. And my favorite scene, and it's an all timer for me. My favorite scene, it's up there in Mike's echelon top 3 scenes of all time, is when they're showing that woman, what he did to that woman, and she has no arms and no legs.
Oh yeah.
When when and it's the dude's reaction, and he starts laughing, and he starts laughing. He's like, and you're just like, why are you laughing, dude? And he's like, dude, I've never in my life thought I would have the honor to take down such an evil dude. Like this guy found such glorious purpose. What he did, what that guy did to this woman, and he just laughs at that, and it's just like, wow, this is working on such a different fucking level that you would like. I'm a director, right? I would never even dream of giving a character that motivation, that you are filled with such purpose. You're laughing at this poor crippled lady. Like I wouldn't even know where that came from. That is next level. That is absolutely next level. This, you don't, I'm not even going to wait. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. This is another one of his masterpieces for me.
I agree. Yes, I agree. It's a 10 out. This is a 5 out of 5
Wow.
for me.
Yeah.
I thought this was phenomenal.
Damn. Yeah, I'd give it like an 8 or 9 out of 10 again.
Based.
Hell yeah. Then the final film that I watched and that I'm going to talk about before I let you guys get into like his deep cuts and some of the other films that you guys have seen, was First Love, which was, again,
It's a fun one.
holy shit, just very different romance drama. Like, he had a couple.
It's like a Shane Black movie. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, it had a couple American actors in there and stuff, and just really, I just absolutely love the diversity of this guy and how he's so talented in the different genres. It's like, he loves, the kind of over exaggerate, overhype, but he does so well with stuff like 13 Assassins or First Love, where the stories are very coherent and not, all over the place, what's reality, what's not, and all this other stuff. Like it's, he's so great in both, and he's so diverse that I have a lot of respect that I would never imagine him to do a movie like this ever, and I thought that was very bold and I actually found it very interesting. I'm not a fan of like drama, romances, comedies, or this type of genre really, but it was very interesting to see his take on it and see what he did with it. So I really enjoyed it, to be honest. Also slow for me at parts, but also again, I think it's a genre thing. So this one is not like my craziest, but again, I absolutely love the boldness and the diversity in the filmmaking and just that. But yeah, little movie perk.
Yeah, First Love is a lot of fun, and I think, yeah, it's like his action romance. It feels like his most quote unquote mainstream,
Yeah,
from what I've seen,
sure.
and that's absolutely, like, it feels like it's like a summer block, like Fall Guy, like is that style, like
Mhm.
I guess you could say in a way. Not that I've seen Fall Guy, maybe I could come up with another example, like a romance, like those romance action shit that came out with like Tom Cruise and that stuff.
Right.
At least even it's marketed that way, but like going into the film, what makes it so enjoyable, again, that freedom that Mike could do whatever the hell he wants, and he does, and
Yeah.
people let him get away with it, where it's like there's this one great scene where this girl is, the Mike touches are still brutal when they need to be, right? So
Yeah.
this film deals with human trafficking,
Yeah.
deals with abuse, parental abuse, sexual parental abuse is implied, to the point where this woman is traumatized, and sees the figure of her father in his underwear coming at her. And it's actually a pretty creepy, intense imagery, especially when you put it into context of what's going on here. And then this beautiful scene of this boxer that's like, here, put this music on. and anything coming at you, any image visual you have will be funny. And then the dad starts doing a funny
Right.
dance. Like, that is a beautiful scene. That is a
Yes.
beautiful scene. It has personality, and it's not afraid to go dark. And it's going to go dark because it's going to give you an answer to that darkness. It's going to give you this funny payoff, which
Right.
is absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful. It's Mike. It's
Yes.
Mike.
I completely agree. Cole, thoughts on First Love?
Yeah, yeah, I really loved it again. As he said, this does feel like one of his more mainstream ones, but it still has that Mike stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't compromise with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so many batshit insane characters. Like there's the boxer with the brain tumor. There's the crooked cop, terrible luck, screwed up.
That little pixie girl that wouldn't die. She was hilarious. She kept like getting out of the situations.
Yeah, the
She,
film
like,
buff Yakuza.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, there's like too many to count. God, it's like such a great collection of characters, and yeah, as you said, like romance film as well. Just God, it's just batshit insane. I love it. Oh my god, like I don't even know where to begin on this film. God, just yeah, and the imagery is also just beautiful. I love just the lighting
Yes.
of it at so many moments, so many memorable scenes in that aspect there. And the action is just like gorgeous as well. God, I love it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, and the music. Oh god.
No, it's like I love that Mike has the because he's rough. He could be rough, like he could be rough. He could do Itchy the Killer. He could show you shit you don't want to see that is disgusting and gross. And then he in this film, like he's not afraid to go to the dark places, but it's like it's warranted and it's like giving the payoff to the character. So there's like the ending of this movie is awesome because of like when they show the boxer or the girl getting clean and the boxer winning. And there's like they're
Right.
going through the pains of that girl. It's like this is a romantic comedy and she's going through withdrawal like terribly. But it's like it's showing her working. It's showing her working through it. It's not just giving you a happy ending. It's like this is a happy ending that's being earned more than anything. Like and it's doing it through this very rough, tough thing that in life really sucks and it's awful. You know, it's like, damn, me only Mika could do this shit. I
Sure.
love it.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I do agree. I really enjoyed it. Again, even though it's probably not like there's some elements I'm not the biggest fan of. I still really, for me, it's a 3 out of 5. Or not 3 out of 5, 3.5, 3.5 out of 5
Yeah.
For me on Letterboxd. But you, little movie perk.
I wrestle with this one 3.5, 4. I'm probably gonna
Okay.
go with the 4. Probably it's 7 or 8. Gonna give with an 8 because like the stuff that works, I think works really well. And again, I'm like Mike is working mainstream kind of action comedy, and he's still being Mike. He's still allowed to be Mike, and it works, and it works. So I got to give it the 8. Like almost like as objectively, it was like I can't really think of anything technically wrong with it. It's like a short and sweet little movie, you know, with a
I agree.
personality, you know.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Didn't know where that came from. Cool. Your thoughts on First Love?
Well, I pretty much said my thoughts there.
So the rating, I think.
Or
Right?
yeah, I'm sorry, not thoughts. For rating.
Again, 8 out of 10. Like again, if some of these seem, again, just God, I love all of them. Just some are better than others. I can't give them all 10s. Yeah, so
Yeah.
8 out of 10. But yeah,
I mean, you
excellent
can
film.
give them all 10s. Nobody's gonna judge.
I have 3 10s in there. 310 to Yuma.
310 to oh my gosh. But okay, so other than that, that's kind of where I had stopped or I wasn't able to make any more than that. But I know you two have seen a lot more. I know he did like a Django type movie. I know he's done. Like,
Oh yeah,
all this
Western
type of stuff.
Django.
Right.
With
I know he's
Tarantino.
done like a game adaptation.
You got to see the opening scene of that in Tarantino
do.
at least. It's
I
hilarious.
do want to see.
Yeah, the Tarantino, Django one. Yeah, I watched it just for that, and yeah, it was one of his weaker ones to me. But you know what? It still did its job overall for like what
Yeah.
it was trying to do. It was fun. I'd probably give that like a 5.5 or 6 out of 10, but I
I,
enjoyed myself.
I like the begin. That's one of the ones where it's like, okay, first of all, Mike had all the actors speak English, if I remember correctly, and they're all Japanese, and it was like, oh man, no, 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 no. And then I remember, dude, just like one action scene at the end. So I was like, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember liking that movie. I gotta say, I don't. I'm not even gonna give it a rating because I haven't. I blind bought it. I have it somewhere. Maybe I'll check it out again. I remember
Yeah,
not liking it. I've seen the Tarantino scene over and over again on YouTube because I thought that scene was hilarious.
yeah, I understand. Shit, sorry, understandable. Like, yeah, the trying to think what was the one, oh yeah, right, Dead or Alive. Yeah, that was
Dead or
another one.
Alive is amazing. I love that
Yeah,
one for the
it's such
ending.
a roller coaster of a film. It's like insane and unpredictable. It really has also that nostalgic style of just so many Japanese and Yakuza action flicks, and with like big stars such as Takeshi Kitano from that
Mhm.
kind of era of cinema kind of had at the time. It's type of action flick that just many smaller Asian action directors who kind of move to America try to replicate in their own work that usually can't do it properly and usually from studio interference. But yeah, especially after Matrix in the same year, God, the studios just wanted to turn everything into that. You know, biggest example is that
Yeah.
a ballistic X versus Sever, but that's a whole other story.
No, it's
Yeah, it
actually
has.
pretty relevant because the Dead or Alive sequels, Mike, I think, was making fun of that. It's like he had a couple like those Matrix shots and stuff, but he did it like in a comedic effect. Like, you know,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
even
and yeah,
in City of Lost Souls, he had a chicken fight, and it did the Matrix. The chicken jumped up and did the Matrix kit, and the camera did the swirl. So he was like, I guess it's his way of like combating what you were saying is like, oh, just do this. It's like, well, he's gonna do it, but in a chicken fight, a
yeah, and yeah, it
cockfight,
just
you
has
know.
all the things you love about his films. Just I really enjoyed it though. Again, it isn't his strongest film to me. It has some messy moments or empty
Mhm.
moments with like what it's trying to accomplish. There are things that sort of intentional though with the tone of every Takashi Miike film. Yeah, overall though, yeah, definitely works for me. Plus the two lead actors make it wonderfully.
Yeah.
Uh, it just works wonderfully with them, and some he's worked with on a lot of films, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he's done two sequels to this, as you said. The third I heard wasn't very good. I have not seen it yet. I
Final,
have
yeah.
seen the second,
Takes place in the
and yeah,
future.
yeah, the second was really good. A lot of people actually think the second is better than the
The
first. But
second, yeah,
yeah,
it's this hangout nostalgia film. I enjoyed the second one. I enjoyed it
yeah,
was weird. I love that's the thing about Mike is like he's not when he does a Yakuza movie, he's not technically doing a Yakuza movie. It just happens to have Yakuza in it. It's like it's like in Dead or Alive 2, it was like the Yakuza. It's like about these two hit like rival hitmen, right, or Yakuza, and then they find out that they were friends as kids. And instead of like this rival thing where they're like fighting, they just like, hey, let's go back to where we grew up, and they just end up hanging out in their community. And it's just this little hangout movie of these two chilling, just this bro movie, them reminiscing, them helping out with an orphanage. It's just like Mike did, like he sometimes, you know, and I feel like you have to appreciate it for what it is and not because I could understand if you're looking for a Yakuza movie and you run into a Mike movie, you might be disappointed, you know, and that's
Right.
might have been where he came up with this theme of Itchy the Killer, right? Like through all like because I don't think he's interested in genre. I think he's interested in certain themes, and then he works within that genre, you know, because it's like he constantly has these Yakuza characters in his movies, but then they're not really Yakuza plots. They turn into something else. They go somewhere, you know. It's very interesting to me. He's not interested in the actual genre, which I absolutely love. I think that's what makes his movies very interesting.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean, I'd probably give like a 7 or 8 out of 10. I mean, what about you?
For Dead or Alive, man, Dead or
Yeah.
Alive, I love the ending. It goes fucking crazy ass bonkers Street Fighter. Are you okay? He like created an energy ball out of nowhere. So the whole thing with I don't know if you're gonna see it, but the whole thing is like it's like a gritty Yakuza movie, Austin.
Yeah.
Cops and robbers, basically. Like this cop Yakuza, it's like very gritty, a lot of handheld. And then in the end, it just goes fucking crazy. It goes almost like supernatural. I won't spoil it other than that. It just for the last like 5 minutes, just for the last 5 minutes, and it's crazy. And then you're gonna be like, how the hell did they come up with a sequel for this? Well, they did twice. Yeah. The another movie I love from him is Feudo. The I think it's the Last Generation or the New Generation. I think New Generation, which is about like this Yakuza guy kills one of his sons, right? He kills one of his sons as an honor thing because the son fucked up, and then the brother grows up really mad about that and wanting to get revenge on his own father. So what he does is he recruits. He makes his own little Yakuza in a high school, and he recruits all these freaking crazy ass like what Amike different like one girl does darts through her, you know what, like she blows darts through her, like that type of shit, right? It's fucking awesome. It's awesome. It's technically it's like his first, like before Ichi the Killer, this was like the first one. Didn't get big, but awesome. Like the first, like he made movies before that, but they were mostly like straight to video action bodyguard movies. I've seen a couple. He did do regular Yakuza movies. It wasn't until I think Black Shinjuku Black Triad Society, like that movie is where his personality came out, and it was like an awesome movie. He released it in a trilogy. That I recommend that one, and then Feudo, and then that's what you'll need to get like, oh, this is Takashi's early work where you could see like his fucking form like do I guess the Itchy thing is more like his wild shit, which is what seems what people are interested in. He did like awesome like indie art house movies. He did like schlocky action sci-fi movies. But if you watch Feudo and you watch damn, I can never get that title right. It's the Black Shuku. I got it right here. I don't got the Blu-ray. Hold on. I have it somewhere. Give me a minute, guys. Because I got all my Mike shit in one shot.
Yeah, I mean, also, I don't have much to really say about these ones, but yeah, Hara Curie and Crow's Zero.
Crow Zero.
Oh, and Graveyard of Honor.
Also, I love Graveyard of Honor. Graveyard of Honor is like, I wish I had that with my Sam Raimi meeting, because we were talking about characters that are absolute scumbag. How if you need to absolutely relate, does a character need to be quote unquote likable to be interesting for an audience member to follow them? And my example was Travis Bickle. He's kind of like, he seems a little racist. He seems like he's terrible with women. He's a weirdo, like all that shit, you know, but I love the character. Travis Bickle's amazing. Right. And it was like, look what he did at the end. All that shit is like, I still think generally he's not, you know, but I think Graveyard of Honor would have been a better example because holy shit, Takashi Miike came up with the most scumbaggiest of scumbag character. This dude is such an asshole. He treats women like shit. He's a drug. There's an amazing scene of him crawling, trying to get his next like hit from meth or some shit, and he's crawling through his floor, and it's just nothing but junk and needles and all this shit. It was like the dirtiest, grimiest shot I've ever seen in my life. It's Gummo level shit, but it's an absolutely fascinating. I'm just like, you're so fascinated with this guy, this scumbag, this guy that's starting fights with people, this guy that's an asshole. He gets told to shut, like he's not even verbally like quick with it, you know? He's not even like fast on his feet. That's a somewhat likable trait. The asshole that's, he could say a snarky thing back. He's not even that. He can't even say a snappy shit back. He's just an asshole. And yet he's fascinating. How does Mika do it? Graveyard of Honor. Yeah, that one.
See, I do want to watch more of his movies and stuff and the rest of them because it's like I'm very interested in that. Like, you know, like you said, he's very entertaining for doing some wild and weird and random shit and stuff. He still gets away with it and still, you know, makes it entertaining to watch for the most part and stuff. And so
he did one movie, one of his recent ones that I really liked, Lesson of the Evil, which will never be remade here. Okay, it's about a school shooting done by a teacher.
No.
It is pretty wild, pretty awesome, and it is the budget is very like he's good. He's already like, because the thing what made Mike so fucking interesting is that he got bigger around the world before Japan. Like his
Okay.
movies were getting like audition all that shit.
Yeah.
That was coming out straight to video over there.
Oh
And then it
wow.
was like festivals and shit that were like, this guy's amazing. You know, it was like Tarantino was like the one like, yo. And that's when like, you know, it still took a while for Japan to catch up. And he finally like, I guess around, yeah, definitely 13 Assassins. By then they had caught up. Like he did a
Yeah.
couple mainstream
Oh yeah.
stuff. By then, I did a Terraform or some shit like that. He did like a sci-fi movie I haven't seen. But by then he did Lesson of the Evil, which was his return to form, which is a wild movie. It's like the serial killer teacher that needs to kill his students, and he plans this huge fucking elaborate shooting. And of course, it has some fucking crazy ass Mike moments where his shotgun randomly turns into this eyeball and creature that talks to
Oh
him.
god.
Yeah. And it's wild, and it shows them shooting the kids. Like it's like whoa, it's
It's pretty
pretty
intense. Yeah.
hardcore. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
intense. And he plays certain music to it. It's kind of, it makes you uncomfortable. As an American, yeah, I
Yeah.
was uncomfortable, and he wanted that, you know, because he's playing like kind of like fun music towards it. Like the guy makes
Oh my
a
god.
like a carnival out of it. It's like, oof. It was
Jeez.
kind of rough in that, but very exciting because I like feeling that. I like feeling that. Oh, this is dangerous. What
Yeah,
we're
this is
doing
right.
here.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. How
What
do I
you're
feel
doing here,
about
Mike?
this?
I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah.
I like feeling on the edge where it's like, is he gonna go too far for me? All right, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
go, Mike. No, but
Yeah,
I
no,
did it. I
he
love the movie. It was great. I give that one a 4, probably 7 or 8 out of 10.
okay. Yeah, he's definitely I mean, a fascinating director. You know,
Mhm.
for me coming into it and just kind of diving into him, it's been like I have a lot of respect and admiration truly for him and just like what he's able to do, what he's capable of doing, you know, and again, I love that word, just the freedom that he
Yeah.
has in his filmmaking and stuff. With
He was
that,
like,
any
yeah, like the fact that he could just like the City of Lost Souls has that ending where it's like these
yeah,
cops that I guess it's a joke within themselves. These cops are just surveillance the whole time, and it gets a running joke that they're not doing anything. They're just sitting in the van, and so at the end, it's a running joke, I guess. And at the end of the movie, they just come out of the van. They see that the camera's there. This is not found footage. This is done like a normal Mike movie. They see this
right.
like, hey, what are you guys still doing here? Then they kick a Coke can at the camera. And he's like, leave. And it's like, okay. He just comes up with these endings where it's like, okay.
These
Or these
random,
really
yeah.
meta breaking scenes almost, you know?
Yeah. God.
Well, with that, any gentlemen, either of you, any final thoughts on Takashi and his filmography? And
Uh, I mean, I had
I
a
didn't even
couple
get,
others I was gonna.
bro. Yeah, I didn't get to ley lines. I didn't get
oh
to,
yeah,
there's so
go
many.
for it,
No, I'm
go
kidding.
for
I'm
it.
kidding. I'm kidding. I got
Yeah.
through the big major ones.
Yeah. Well, there are just like other ones I'm quickly gonna mention.
Mm-hmm.
Lumberjack the Monster, the most recent one. I did
Yeah,
watch that. It was not the
Netflix.
best, but it was okay, I guess. Yeah, Belatedly Immortal was pretty, and Yakuza Apocalypse and As the Gods Will, weren't the best either from him, but they were
As the God's
enjoyable.
Will was the better one out of those. I remember the Yakuza Apocalypse was such a downer for me. The vampire
Yeah,
one.
same.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
Lesson of the Evil was fairly good, I guess.
Yeah,
Shield of
I love Lesson
Straw.
of the
Yeah, Shield of
Mm,
Straw. The main two things I have to say about that film are like I understand it has a point in how it's very cliche and pointless, especially if that ended and in its execution, because that's what
yeah.
he goes for in a handful of his films, and with the tropes, cliches, pacing, and pointless character arcs in them, as he likes to play the audience with them. But it doesn't make me have to really like it or makes it good all the time just because it's intentional like that. If it isn't interestingly done, and this is one of those times, and so it would have been a thousand times better, I think, if they just made Shield of Straw like a short film instead. I think it would have been a lot better. Yeah, apparently got some critic praise. I don't get it out of all of his films, but yeah. And then Ace Attorney, I'll say yeah. Whenever people ask about like the best video game adaptation in cinema, I'm always kind of annoyed that no one brings this up because, in my opinion, this is easily the best to me, at least for the time being, until we get better ones. Like, there's only
He did JoJo
one
too.
flaw I have with it. Yeah, there's only one flaw I really have with this, and that's how they handled Detective Gumshoe's character, which was disastrous, especially with how loved he was in the game, lots of charisma. But other than that, I thought it was great. There are people who have issues with the runtime and pacing in it, but I thought it was perfectly fine. with it, and the overtop acting, fits it as well. Just and Japanese, a complete identical adaptation to the game story, which leaves a little surprise in store. But I don't care as much about that either, with adaptations like these, as it's done mostly in both mediums, for people who like don't play games or anything. But I mean, yeah, it still has Easter eggs for the fans too. Many of them, the production design, costume, makeup are just done very well. The lighting and cinematography wasn't anything like too special, but it did its job. It was very well directed, though. It got every other character right and spot on with their how they look and their attitude from the game, with good performances. The mystery aspects are very well executed and drags you into the world very well. Even like the most minor of characters were done with lots of care, and it's very hilarious as well and incredible too with the over the top scenes that makes it really memorable. I would recommend this. I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10. And then I think one of the last films I'm just going to mention, with some other just quick shout outs here, just he made a short thing called Imprint.
Oh yeah, for
It was
Masters of
like
Horror.
a part of like this yeah, a Masters of Horror, but it was where directors got like full creative control to like make do whatever they want. So he made it, and he starred like Billy Drago and stuff. But even then, it was too screwed up for them that they like banned it basically, and then just released it later on TV. So yeah,
Hell
that's
yeah.
Takashi
I
Miike
have the
for you.
DVD.
But yeah, the last one I did just oh damn, that's cool. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, the last one I will just mention though, Yakuza Like a Dragon. Yeah, this is one I didn't
Mm.
rewatch before this stream, and when I first saw it, I wasn't a huge fan of the Yakuza series at the time. So maybe it's better than how I felt at the time if I rewatch it. Just put it out there beforehand. But yeah, well, this isn't a film I would consider to be too good. It does, get a lot of things right, and it stays true and faithful to the games, the visuals, set, and costume design and style of it, and the roller coaster tone, especially for the earlier ones at the time, are all identical to the game. I wish this was one of his films that got a bit higher of a budget, though, as it could have benefited a lot from it, and with
Oh
some
yeah.
scenes looking a bit like a YouTube prank show with some of the costumes or quality, but it's still, solid with the resources he had to work with. The destructible just the environment and everything and action scenes were great too, even if they were done better in some of his other films. The cast does a good job with the characters. It has some great comedy moments in it. Unfortunately, though, this film is held back by uh, other films, yeah, in his filmography. Point where it's probably like one of his weakest mainstream films he's ever made. Mainly for two reasons. Firstly, the ending I think was horrible and he completely screwed it up. Secondly, there were a handful of characters that served zero purpose to the story and should have been removed entirely from the film and to fix the pacing of it all, such as that assassin slash sniper character.
Mm.
Oh, and thirdly, while the film, going back and forth on serious tone scenes and comedic tone scenes is a common tone pattern in all of his films, and is accurate to kind of the Yakuza series. Pretty much all of them that was played seriously are poor in this film. If the film just stuck to the comedic scenes mostly
Mm.
throughout, like the some of the later ones and spin-offs do in the Yakuza series, and I think it would have benefited from it a lot more. But
Mm.
it kind of works overall. I'd say it's passable. I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. But yeah, it's not the best. Yeah, that's all I have to really say. I just wanted to get those out of the way. Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
No, all good. The one title I got wrong. It's Shinjuku Triad Society. I cannot recommend that enough. It came out in 1995. He did movies before that, but I think that's the birth of like the Miike we love now, in terms of he got to use his voice, he got to do interesting things. The characters are awesome. They're not like your
Yeah, I
average
believe that's his
characters.
first like theater film or something.
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah. Yeah, I think so too. It was awesome, awesome. The characters is very very good character work going on. They're very interesting bad guys. I love that movie. It's one of my personal favorites, so I can't recommend that one enough. I give that one an 8 out of 10. 4 stars. I love that movie. What else? I'm looking at my Mike section over here in my Blu-ray. All right, we're good. We're good. We could do what was that one? Over my dead body, over your dead body. He did a theater ghost. He returned to the J horror for this theater ghost movie that was pretty cool because they have some cool stage shit going on, a rotating stage throughout the whole thing, and he uses it brilliantly. And then he did with Park Chan Wook, the director of Old Boy, and then Fruit Chan from China. They got a director from Japan, a director from South Korea, and then a director from China, and they did this anthology called Three Extremes.
Yeah.
And Mike's version section of it is fucking phenomenal, creepy, atmospheric horror that hasn't been able to pull off, in my opinion, or at least from what I've seen. I haven't seen the call ones, but he does such a good job. It's a beautiful, weird story of these two girls in a carnival that get into this box, this weird position. And the story, how it gets Mike crazy, but it's beautifully haunting. It's one of his best work. It's short. You could probably see it on YouTube. It's only like 20 minutes. I highly, highly recommend that. That's one of his best shit, and it's a short. Please see. It's called Box by Mike.
Box by Mika. Okay.
Yeah, I purposely didn't pick that one for like one of the things for him to watch this because it's an anthology. Like I told him,
Yeah.
in the future, what we might do is do a podcast episode just for like anthologies of like the directors we watched. So it would be stuff like Tokyo, and then this. So
yeah. But yeah, with that, guys, that is the show. That is the podcast talking about Takashi Miike, his films, his wild films. If you haven't watched any of his movies, I highly recommend definitely checking them out. I mean, look, it's good to like see other filmmakers, see what these people from other countries make and stuff, and expand your horizons and stuff. And like I said, it was really fascinating. I really enjoyed the experience. It was a great time, and I highly recommend checking out the films that we talked about. Other than that, thank you, Lil Movie Perp, for being here and for being a part of this show, for being our first official director on our show about directors. So
talking about Mike, I'm honored.
That's right. Awesome. If you want to go ahead and let the people know where they can find you,
around
anything coming up or anything like that.
No, I just talk about movies. I'm watching Cuckoo tomorrow. Probably going to talk about that.
Oh, is that out? Is that out tomorrow?
I'm seeing it tomorrow.
Is it out?
Very excited.
Or are you getting like some sort of special screening? Or something?
No, I think it's just an early screening. I think it comes out either tomorrow. Yeah, the early screenings or whatever, probably tomorrow. What? Yeah, I just got tickets online. I didn't do anything.
Well,
I don't have any Hollywood contacts to give me tickets to Cuckoo.
We might be seeing Cuckoo tomorrow too. But make sure to check out his channel and his content. We'll put the links in the description below and everything. And again, thanks for being on, Cole. Any final thoughts? Any last words?
Nothing much. So I was gonna ask. So I guess you didn't want to do the other parts of it. I guess.
The say what, who, where, what, when, why, and how.
What the like seeing what he has up the work on next and the Did you have anything you're working on next, or that you can talk about, or anything like that you can?
Not right now. I got a meeting, a big meeting. I'm really excited about. I can't talk about it. I'm probably not going to get anything out of it. It's one of those rotation meetings, but I'm really excited about it. It's awesome.
Okay. Well, hey man, best of luck to you, and with that, again, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on the podcasting formats, make sure and check out the YouTube. See the video version of everything, and we will see you guys next week with our next director and possibly next guest. Thank you guys again for tuning in. And we will see everybody later.
Thank you.